Are we not live? Going live. You're live. Okay, now we're live.
Cool.
Or at least we should be. Yes, we're live.
Hell yeah.
Fantastic. Notification just came up. Seems fine. I don't see any lag. All right, let me share the link to it on everything. Share Twitter, tweet. Share. Copy link. Let's do it on Instagram. I'll take a picture. Smile. Live now. Come watch the 10K special. With a link. Why can I not put a link? You can no longer put links. Oh no, you can. Okay. They just buried it lower. Oh no. Am I frozen?
Yeah.
No.
Are you trying to use your webcam in two places?
I don't think so.
Like you don't have like a OBS source that's just your camera?
Maybe.
If so, try deleting that, 'cause sometimes they just don't like getting along with trying to be used twice at the same time.
Okay. We got some people in the chat. Sorry everyone. Trying to sort out some technical difficulties. As you can tell, my webcam is not working. This is my friend George, by the way.
Hello.
Okay. Ugh. This is so annoying. Okay. Off. And then on. I need to post on Instagram as well. Okay, I seem to be back. Hello?
There you go.
Okay, I'm back. I need to post on Instagram that we're live. Smile again. Okay. Come watch 10K special. Live now. Link, paste, go. Big. All right. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the live stream. This is the 10K special. Now, I know we streamed to 10K a couple weeks ago, but this is, rather than counting down to 10K, this is a thank you stream to all of you for the amazing support that you've shown this channel over the last 2 years. It's been amazing. And what we're going to be doing on this stream is trying to name every cognitive bias. Okay, not every cognitive bias, but a lot of cognitive biases as like a quiz. And if I get one wrong, then we're going to spin the wheel of punishment, which you can see at the bottom of the stream right now. So that wheel basically tells me what punishment I'm going to have to do in order for getting one wrong. Now, we'll go through them in more detail closer to the time of starting, which we'll do in like 10 to 15 minutes. give people some time to join the stream. But that's the plan. But for now, we're just going to chill out for 20 minutes. Feel free to ask questions. If you're just joining now, this is my friend George. George is going to be helping me out by asking me questions. And
I'm the glamorous assistant.
You're my glamorous assistant in this magic show of nerdiness. And that's the plan. That's the plan for today's stream. I see... Oh no. It's not done it again. No.
Something about you and technology just does not get along.
It was literally working fine. Like, I don't understand.
I know it's not as nice looking, but is it worth switching to the other webcam just to not deal with the issues? I know you want it to look nice and pretty and cinematic, but...
Maybe. I don't know why it's not working though. It was literally working fine. Sorry everyone.
Is there a software it uses?
Yeah, Sony Imaging. Oh, is it because I got Microsoft Teams open? It might be that. I'm gonna turn it off and on again. Okay. Come on, please work. Campbell says, can you share the science? Nice. Campbell says, can you share the science behind how you two young handsome gentlemen came to look so fine? I'm a behavioral scientist. I don't do genetics.
When a mommy and a daddy love each other very much.
They lay an egg.
They lay an egg.
And then some people come out the other end. All right. We'll give it some time for people to come in. I don't know if I should be posting anywhere else.
What have you posted?
Instagram and Twitter.
Throw it on LinkedIn, why not?
LinkedIn's not very chronological though, that's the only thing. So I don't know if there's any point.
I mean, would it hurt?
That's a good point. I guess it wouldn't hurt. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to turn the wheel off for now. Anyway, George, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Hello, my name is George. I am Peter's very best friend of all time. And he will tell you that no one else compares.
Right.
We grew up together, we went to school together, and that's how I know Pete. I know nothing about behavioral science, so I am here only through nepotism.
And the webcam's just come off again.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to switch to the other webcam. This is so disappointing. Right. I really hoped it would work. I don't understand why it's not. It's, of course, on the day where I actually want to use it, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we can't be having this for the actual live stream, so... 1 second.
I'm sorry, Campbell, I have seniority.
Off, and then on. Let's see if this works. Oh, no, I'm using an OBS right now, so let's turn that off. And then off, and then on, and then, oh, it looks so much worse. It's like incredible how much worse it looks.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna, you know what, I'm gonna go and open the window. It's a daytime stream. It's a daytime stream. Okay. We're back.
It still looks good. You're fine.
Alright, we've got people coming in. I'm just going to do a quick post on LinkedIn. I'll delete it as soon as the stream's over. It
still looks good. You're fine.
Oh, I can hear the stream. Hang on. All right, share, copy, post to LinkedIn. Live now. Come watch. All right, it's posted. It's posted.
Nice.
All right. Campbell says, "How dare you? Very best friend." Yeah, no, fair enough. All right. We're in OBS. We'll give it till like 1:25, 1:30 before we actually start. Just because it takes about that long for people to realize that I'm live, and then they come in. But thank you everyone who's watching right now. Feel free to pop some questions in the chat while you wait. We'll do a little Q&A for a while, and then we'll kick off with naming every cognitive bias and me suffering. At least the webcam's working.
Yeah.
I look very blue.
Yeah. Is it a Logitech?
It is a Logitech.
Do you have the G-Hub software? Because
Yeah.
you can go in and shift the white balance.
Why? Because I have this light behind me. If I turn the light off, maybe it'll... Yeah, there you go. Now I'm instantly less blue. Okay. How's the audio levels, by the way? Am I loud enough? Is George loud enough? Can you let us know?
So Pete, how are you feeling about how you're gonna do with these biases? Ready to put your money where your mouth is?
Not good. I'm not feeling good. You know, I told my coworkers that I was doing this challenge.
Yeah.
And they go, "But Pete, you're not going to get any wrong." And I was like, "Oh, how wrong you are."
You don't think that, like, sure, maybe... So the way we're going to do it is I'm going to read off a description of a cognitive bias or a behavioral bias.
Yep.
And then Pete's going to have to guess the name of the bias. And sure, you may not know them all straight from memory, but do you not think that once you hear the description, you're going to be able to be like, oh, I'm reminded of that. That's so-and-so.
For some of them, sure. For some of them, hopefully, right? Like, I'm not hoping to get everyone wrong, right? I should get most of them right. But there's there's a few where the descriptions are pretty vague. And there's a few where there's kind of like multiple names for the same thing.
Right. Okay.
And because this is a 10K special and it's a challenge, if I say the wrong name to the one that's on the card, then we're gonna say it's wrong.
Okay. All right.
Right. More challenges, more fun. That's the idea. Yeah.
So you're not only putting your money where your mouth is, but there might be some other things on this wheel that might be going where your mouth is as well.
Yeah. Should I bring it? I'll bring the wheel back up again, so everyone on the stream can see. All right, this is the wheel of punishment.
Do we want to walk through the punishments and how you're feeling about each one's?
Okay, so as you can see, there are 7 potential punishments on this wheel. So every time I get one wrong, we're going to spin this wheel of punishment. Okay. Now the ones in the orange and the light orange aren't too bad. Okay, you got cricket cookies, which Casey's currently baking. That's my wife, by the way. She's currently baking these for me, and they're cookies with actual crickets in them, like actual insects inside. Okay, so
God.
Pretty gross. So that's one. That's the less bad one. Okay.
I feel like the thought of that is worse than the reality.
That's what I'm hoping, but the thought is pretty pretty
It
visceral.
also heavily depends on the density of cricket to biscuit.
Yeah, so true, so true. Um, 10 burpees. I hate burpees. So 10 burpees.
But Pete, you're so fit and strong. That should be no problem for you.
No, burpees are horrendous. Um, then there's a normal chili, which I have here. Okay, so this is like a regular chili. That's not to say that it's like my spice tolerance isn't amazing, so even this is going to be like pretty spicy, right? But it's okay. But we'll get onto the real spicy one in a second.
All right, if we're talking about spice tolerance, there's only one level for people to really know like how good your spice tolerance is.
Okay,
What's your Nando's order?
medium to like mild.
Okay.
Medium to like lemon and herb, right? Like if you understand that as a barometer, it's not great. Okay. Okay, so there's normal chili. Then there's 10 push-ups. Again, not too bad, but still, if I'm getting a lot wrong, that can get real bad real fast. Toxic waste, which are these. So if you're from outside the UK, toxic waste is like a super sour candy, right? It's like super duper sour, really pretty unpleasant. So that's another one. Then we have a giveaway, which is nice. So for any of you who are lucky enough to be on the live stream, you have the chance to win something, like win a hoodie or win a hat, live here on the stream. So if you land on that one, spam in the chat your Instagram handle, and I will DM you.
Very nice.
But then you'll notice there's one punishment in black,
My favorite.
and that punishment is the one chip challenge. And if you don't know what the one chip challenge is, it's this. So it's made by this company called Paqui. Paqui. I don't know how to pronounce it. Paqui. And it's basically a Dorito that is extremely spicy. Okay. It's called the one chip challenge for a reason, because it's so spicy they only give you one in this whole packet. Okay. It's made with this one, the 2022 version. It's made with Reaper pepper and Scorpion pepper. And if there are two things I don't want my peppers named after, it's scorpions and reapers. So
I have to say, the design of the box is very reassuring. The shape of a coffin with a skull on it, you know?
yeah. It's actually just a picture of me in about an hour.
I so hope it's the first punishment you land on. That'd be
I
amazing way.
I really hope it's not the first punishment I land on. And this one's special because it turns your tongue blue.
Oh.
So
Okay.
it's a new version that makes your tongue blue after you eat it. So that sounds fun. I see Petra in the chat. Hi Petra, nice to see you. I'm surprised there's not more people coming, and maybe it's too early. A lot of my audience is American, and maybe it's too early in the day. Let's give it till past, and then we'll kick off. Regardless, we will be editing this down into a more digestible YouTube video, because this will take a couple hours, to get through them all. There's 87 cognitive biases we're going to try and name. Or is it 86? It might be 86.
86.
86 at this point. Right, there's 86, still a lot. There's 86 cognitive biases we're going to name. Or try and name. And yeah. So, it'll take a couple hours to get through. How's everyone doing in chat? Do post. Yeah, but we need more peeps. More peeps in the chat. Also, I don't know if my YouTube post got shown to many people. Usually the community posts do very well, but I don't know. I didn't get a lot of interaction on this one, so we'll see.
YouTube can be very hit or miss.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's just early though for like a lot of the American audience.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, East Coast is 5 hours behind, so it's like 8:20 in the morning. So maybe like an hour in, people will start coming in. Like a lot.
Yeah,
More people will
once
come in.
we're into it, people will filter in throughout.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll give it 6 more minutes until past, and then we'll kick off. And before we start, though, I do need to get milk. I do need to get milk and ice cream. I have like a whole tub of soft scoop ice cream ready to go. I don't know if any of you saw George. Did you see Philip Schofield try the one chip challenge?
No.
So Philip Schofield tried it on this morning. He just put the whole thing in, and he just freaking bossed it out. Like he just had it in his mouth, and he was just like, he just stuck with it for like a while.
That's how you're meant to do it, is it not? All at once.
You do it all at once, but like he didn't like he didn't take milk or ice cream for like ages. No, absolutely owned it. So that's the plan. We're gonna try and do that.
Try and power through it.
Try and power through it at least for a while. I think if I can last a minute without eating or drinking anything, that's pretty good. I don't know if I will. I think I'll last about 2 seconds. But we'll see.
So, Pete Judo on Hot Ones when?
I don't know. I need a lot more subscribers before that happens, I think.
I just love to see it though.
I'll be so bad. Who's the best Hot Ones you've seen?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of them do get through it. I don't know that there's anyone in particular that just like seemed unfazed all the way through.
Yeah.
It's like the thing about Hot Ones, right, is like a lot of them get through it now. Like there's barely anyone who like doesn't, and it's pretty much the same generally, like fairly similar. I think Jack Black was pretty good, but for the most part everyone sort of has similar reactions. But you know, they started off with a gimmick to like get people in, and they still use it, and it's still fun to see. But it's just his interviewing skills are great, and that's like what's really makes the show so successful.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I've heard that as well. That like he's really good. He does his research properly, and like asks good questions, which is hard. Like, I've done a few interviews on this channel with like different academics and like different authors and stuff. It's difficult coming up with good questions.
Yeah.
But I think the key often is to, well, with an author at least, the key is to actually read the book. I've seen. I mean, you would think it's like a given, but like, I've seen so many interviews with like my favorite authors where the person interviewing them just clearly hasn't read the book.
Yeah.
Like, they don't ask them any questions to do with what's in the book. They ask them stuff which is like directly addressed in the book, and it's just like, come on, I know you didn't read the book.
Yeah. I think the great thing about Sean Evans, who's the host of Hot Ones, is like he asks questions that other interviewers aren't asking. You know when celebrities are doing press tours, they're doing so many interviews and everyone's just asking the same questions.
Yeah.
He's asking like unique questions. They're kind of deep, but they're not too like prying and sort of invasive, so no one's like offended by the question.
Yeah.
It's just really good questions. And it's like he's asking more stuff like about what were the challenges people faced like doing a certain thing. Like if it was a book, it was like what were the challenges you faced in like trying to gather this data or trying to research this thing, or how did you figure out that this was the subject matter that you wanted to research? What was the story that led you there?
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. One day I'll be as good as Sean Evans.
Amazing.
Okay, I put the wheel back on. I just wanted to post on Facebook real quick. Okay, we got 1 more minute. I'm gonna go pour myself a glass of milk and get some ice cream, and then I'll be right back. Okay, everyone. I'll be 1 minute, and then we're gonna start, and then hopefully, as we're going, we'll be live for a couple hours. So hopefully, as we're going, more people will start coming in and seeing what's up. But thanks everyone who's here already. I really appreciate it. All right, I'll be back momentarily. George, feel free to entertain the stream with whatever you feel is fit.
Alright, so he's kept his headphones on so he can hear everything that I'm saying. But I'm just gonna say, I just so hope that he just gets the really bad ones first, because I think it would be a really entertaining way to sort of see him struggle through the rest of it. Like if we're on like card 5 of 86 and he gets the 1-chip challenge, he's got 80 more to go then, and he's just gonna be already struggling. I think it'll be somewhat entertaining. Maybe not right off the bat, maybe about a third of the way through.
Okay, hello. I'm back.
Stocked up, ready.
I have milk.
That is a lot of milk.
I have ice cream. If it gets melted, it gets melted. I don't think I'll really care when the moment comes. Oh, I do need to get some disposable gloves, because I'll just get them when I land on it, which might be immediately.
Fingers crossed.
But the chip is so spicy, you're not actually supposed to touch it with your bare hands, because it'll start irritating your skin. So yeah, that's happening. So I'll get this. Wait, when we land on it, if we land on it, when we land on it,
We definitely will.
I'll go get disposable gloves. Campbell says, hope he gets 86 1-chip challenges, then what? Okay, the 1-chip challenge can only happen once, guys. Okay. It's called the one.
Sad thing about it.
It's called the 1-chip challenge, not the 86-chip challenge. So once we get it, I'll take it off the wheel so we don't keep getting it. Or maybe I'll just respin.
Sounds like an excuse to me.
I think 1 is plenty.
Well, I mean, when you get a bag of Doritos, you eat the whole bag at once. Like, you don't just eat one. Come on now.
Would you really eat a whole bag of 1-chip challenge Doritos? I mean, come on, guys. Come on.
I mean, someone might.
All right, should we start?
Sure.
Okay, we're starting, everyone. Okay, so for people who are just joining the stream now, let me just repeat the setup for this. So this is a 10,000 subscriber special. We're doing this because we want to say thank you to all of you for the amazing support you've given the channel. I never, ever in a million years thought that this channel would reach 10,000 subscribers, especially not in just like the first 2 years of it being, around. So it's incredible the amount of support you've given us. I appreciate it so much. And so to say thank you, we're going to be doing this 10,000 subscriber special challenge, which is trying to name every cognitive bias or else. Now, you might say, Pete, surely you won't get any wrong because you know all the cognitive biases in the world because you're the greatest behavioral scientist of all time. And to that I tell you, you're wrong. I'm actually terrible at behavioral science, and I just pretend. And so, but here's the thing: being a good behavioral scientist, part of it is knowing the different behavioral biases, is knowing the different principles. And so, I'm going to be trying to call out the right behavioral principle after George reads a description for 86 different principles, and if I get them right, we move on, and I escape punishment. But if I get one wrong, we then spin the wheel of punishment, which you can see at the bottom of the screen. So we have cricket cookies, which are currently... If we get that one first, by the way, I also can't do it because Casey's still baking them. So we'll have to wait 20 minutes or so for the cricket cookies. Cricket cookies, which are cookies with actual bugs in them. 10 burpees. I hate burpees. A regular chili. 10 push-ups. Toxic waste, which are super sour sweets. A giveaway. So for any of you who are watching the live stream right now, you have the chance to win some free merch if it lands on the giveaway. And then, of course, there's the One Chip Challenge, which is the spiciest single Dorito that you can buy. It's made with ghost pepper and reaper pepper. It makes your tongue blue, and it's like a bajillion Scoville units, and I'll probably die. So if you want to see me die, stick around on the stream.
You know, the content always comes first, so...
Yeah, exactly. Content before the sanctity of life. Okay. So without further ado, George, go ahead and read the first description.
All right. So sometimes there's going to be the name of the bias in the description. So I'm just going to say blank in that instance. Feel free to play along at home, and hopefully you'll be better than Pete. And then if that's true, then you get rightful ownership of the channel.
Wait, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I don't know if I agree to that. I'm going to keep track on the side here to see how many I get right and wrong. Okay.
All right. Number 1. In economics, blank are evident in theoretically optimal choices or real, in brackets, behavioral choices when people decide between alternatives. Blank also imply an ordering of different options in terms of expected levels of happiness, gratification, utility, etc. I almost said the word then. Blank are sometimes elicited in survey research, which may be associated with a range of problems, such as the hypothetical bias. When stated blanks are different from those expected in actual choices.
I'm already screwed.
Armin Falk and colleagues have developed cross-culturally valid survey questions that are good predictors of blank in behavioral experiments. These include questions about risk-taking, see prospect theory, social blanks, e.g. about reciprocity,
Yep.
how do you say that word? And time discounting.
I'm already screwed. Okay. I think it's preference. Right? That would make sense. Preferences. It's barely a principle, to be honest. Right? But if it's not preference, I literally have no clue what it is.
So we'll be locking in preference as a final answer?
Preference.
Pete Judo. On bias number 1, you have got it completely right.
Oh, okay, thank goodness. All right. Woo! Got one! Ooh. By the way, if these descriptions are really long, feel free to read like half of it. You can screw me over however you choose.
Okay, let me just really nail the name in my head so I don't accidentally read out this word. Okay, number 2. People seek more variety when they choose multiple items for future consumption simultaneously than when they make choices sequentially, i.e. on an in-the-moment basis. Blank is non-optimal when people overestimate their need for blank. That's a related word. In other words, sequential choices lead to greater experience utility.
Oh, I'm so screwed.
I've only read half. So what I'll do is I'll read half, and then if you need the rest of the description, then we'll do that.
Okay. I think I will need the rest of it, but I'll tell you where I'm at right now. I think it's diversification. Okay, so the principle behind diversification is that like, if you choose things together, you tend to choose more variety. But what's throwing me off is that it's saying like sequential choices are more optimal, right? Which means that like if you choose one after another, then you end up making more optimal choices. And I have no idea what that is. So, okay, can I have the rest, please?
Okay. So, for example, before going on vacation, I may upload classical rock and pop music to my MP3 player. You know, nice and modern.
Sure.
But on the actual trip, I may mostly end up listening to my favorite rock music. And people make simultaneous choices among things that can be classified as virtues, e.g., highbrow movies or healthy desserts, or vices, e.g., lowbrow movies or hedonic desserts. Their blank strategy usually involves a greater selection of virtues.
I don't know. I still don't know. I'm going to say diversification. By the way, okay, as a rule, from going forward, if I miss out the word bias or heuristic in the answer or effect, I still get it, as long as I get the main word.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So, Peter Judo. You are correct. It's diversification.
Oh, okay. Okay. 2 for 2. Let's keep going.
Good so far.
They're hard, man. I'm really, like, not confident on these answers.
Oh god, this is a really long description.
Okay, you don't have to read all of it. By the way, these descriptions are taken from behavioraleconomics.com, which is a good website if you want to learn about behavioral biases. Okay.
All right. Number 3. When the same information is presented in a different form that is easier to process, our ability to receive and remember it is greater. People often recognize re-blank or compress information to aid in understanding or recall. The resulting subblanks are... Wait, hang on. Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
The resulting subgroups are blanks, which can be defined as a set of information or items that are treated collectively as a single unit. Blank may be done through strategic reorganization based on familiarity, prior knowledge, proximity, or other means to structure the information at hand. For example, a phone number may be split up into 3 subgroups of area code, prefix, and number, or one might recognize a meaningful date in it, and it can organize it more easily into different blanks.
Okay, I was completely lost until you gave me the phone number example. And the phone number example, I think, tells me that this is chunking, which is one of my favorite principles. And the idea behind chunking is that when we have a big block of information, it's really hard for us to like process it, right? Like if you imagine just like a big paragraph of text, right? Like it's really difficult to like comprehend that information without reading it really carefully. Whereas if that same paragraph is separated into like multiple smaller paragraphs with maybe some subheadings, then suddenly that same amount of information feels a lot more digestible because it's separated out, right? It's why recipes come in steps rather than just like a long paragraph, right? And phone numbers do the same thing, right? Like we separate a phone number into groups of 3 or 4 so that it's easier for us to remember it. So I think this is chunking.
Do you want to lock that in?
I'm locking in chunking.
All right, Pete Judo, for one of your favorite behavioral biases, you are correct.
Okay. You kept me hanging there for a second. I thought I might have been wrong. Okay.
Yeah, this is a like for the example that you gave, this is a massive paragraph of text. And I read like half of it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
All right, we're doing good. How many are we in? 3?
We're on to number 4 now.
Number 4 now.
Okay.
Go.
So far, 3 for 3.
3 for 3.
Okay. The blank refers to finding that items, e.g., word, picture, or action, that are located either at the beginning or end of a list are more easily remembered.
Okay, this is... I know this. I don't know the name. I don't know the exact name that it's going to ask for, though. This is the problem with this. Okay, and the rule is, guys, for you, those of you who are joining the stream, if I say the right thing, but it's not the name that's on the card, right? I still get it wrong, except unless it's like I just miss off the word effect or bias or heuristic or something like that. Okay, but if I get like the main word wrong, I still get it wrong. But the problem is in behavioral science there are many names for the same thing, right? Or like very similar ideas, and so. Okay, here we go. So this is to do with sequencing effects, or like ordering. That's what I was saying. There's multiple names for it. Sequencing or ordering effects, right? The two within the within this broader category. There's primacy effects, which is like you remember things if they're first on the list, and then there's recency effects, which is you remember things if they're last on the list, right? Because it's the most recent thing that you remember. And then the stuff in the middle is easier to forget. So it's something to do with primacy and recency effects, something to do with ordering effects. I can't remember which word is on the card. So I'm gonna say ordering effects.
So, Pete Judo, you have correctly described the effect that we are talking about, but have you got the correct name?
No, don't say I got it
The
wrong.
name written on the card is the serial position effect.
No! You're kidding me. I got it wrong.
I'm sorry. Number 4, our first hurdle. We have fallen
We're
down.
4 in. I couldn't even make it to 5. I couldn't even make it to 5. Okay.
Oh, now you know what time it is.
Okay, so for those of you who are just joining the stream, I've just got one wrong. George is reading descriptions of biases, and I got one wrong. And so what we do now is we spin the wheel of punishment, which you can see at the bottom of the stream. They're all pretty bad, but the one I really don't want to land on is the black one, and that's called the One Chip Challenge, which is a super spicy Dorito. We also can't do cricket cookies if it lands on cricket cookies because they're still being baked. So if that happens, then we'll just respin. Okay? Alright.
The cricket cookies aren't done. They're just cooling.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Okay, that's my wife, everyone. Let's do it! Oh my goodness, please don't be the One Chip Challenge. Oh no, no, no! Okay, it landed on cricket cookies. So we gotta go. We gotta go again. But that means another chance to get the One Chip Challenge, which is terrifying. Okay. We're going again. Don't you dare. Toxic waste is the first punishment. Okay.
It's not great, but I wouldn't say that's too bad.
It's not great, but that's not the worst one on the list. So for those of you who are not from the UK, this is toxic waste. And toxic waste is basically a super sour candy, which I completely abhor, to be honest. But okay.
Similar to warheads in the US.
Similar to warheads in the US, if you're from the US. So let's try it. If we, this is punishment for getting one wrong. The annoying thing is, ordering effects and serial position effects, it's the same darn thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, you said about primacy effect and recency effect, which are both mentioned in the text. So.
Exactly, it's exactly the same thing. But the rule is, if I get the main word wrong, it's wrong. All right, bon appetit. Oh my god, it's so sour.
Immediately.
Oh. Ah. All right, keep going. Let's keep guessing while I do the punishments.
While it's in there, okay.
Yeah, no, go on, let's go. Otherwise, we're gonna be here for 20 years.
Okay. So number 5, while you're struggling, choices can be presented in a way that highlight the positive or negative aspects of the same decision, leading to changes in their relative attractiveness. The technique was part of Tversky, I have no idea how to say that name, and Kahneman's development of prospect theory, which framed gambles in terms of losses or gains.
Yeah.
Different types of blank approaches have been identified, including risky choice blank, and attribute blank and goal blank.
This is just loss aversion, right? Surely.
Is that what you're going with?
It has to be. Loss aversion... Oh, I've got to the sweet part of the toxic waste. Okay. Loss aversion... This is educational, as well as entertaining. So for those of you who are on the live stream, loss aversion, arguably the most basic principle in all of behavioral science. It's the idea that we hate losing things, basically. In fact, the pain of losing is roughly twice as horrible as the pleasure of gaining. And we're talking about prospect theory, which is kind of loss aversion based. Oh, actually, is it reference dependent something? Because that's also, no, I think it's loss aversion. Okay, I'm gonna say loss aversion. Locked in.
Okay. Pete Judo. On the card I have written is framing effect.
Oh, you're kidding me.
2 in a row.
2 in a row?
4 and 5.
Oh, there you go. That proves to you that this isn't... I still have toxic waste in my mouth.
Might have to add another one in there.
Okay. I should have to do the one chip challenge and toxic waste at the same time.
No, if you get it, then we'll sort of leave it until the toxic waste is gone, or you can like spit it out in a tissue or something.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
Time to spin that wheel.
Don't you dare. Oh no. Oh, it's got cricket cookie again. Okay. We can't do it because they're cooling down. They're cooling down in the kitchen, so we're going again. Normal chili. Oh, they're here. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife.
Hello.
You have Casey here.
Sorry?
They're probably a bit crumbly.
That's fine. Should I put them here?
I'm good with-
Okay. Alright, she'll be back in a second. Okay, normal chili. So this is good, because this will give you a good barometer as to like how my spice tolerance is, which is not great. Alright, so this is a regular chili, and I'm gonna try and eat this just as it is. And that's a punishment for me getting this one wrong. Okay, so I said loss aversion, and then the answer was framing, which is tough because loss aversion is a form of framing, right? It's like framing is like the umbrella category, and loss aversion is the specific thing within framing. But okay, yeah, rules are the rules. I got it wrong. I still have toxic waste in my mouth, but I'm just gonna eat the chili anyway. Okay, I've never done this before.
Seeds and all.
Seeds and all, the whole thing. It tastes so bad on its own.
How's the heat doing? It seems not good.
I was about to say it's fine,
And then it hits.
and I just hit the back of my throat. Oh god. I'm burping.
Okay, so while you're dealing with this, let's go for the next one. So, according to
Give me a second.
neoclassical... No, come on.
Okay,
Gotta
go.
push through it. According to neoclassical economics, rational beings do whatever they need in order to maximize their own wealth. However, when people make sacrifices to benefit others without expecting a personal reward, they are thought to behave blankly. Common applications of this pro-social behavior include volunteering, philanthropy, and helping others in emergencies. We're hitting the milk.
Oh, I'm crying. Oh.
How much of what I said did you take in?
Like 30%. Oh. This is the regular chili?
Oh, I can't wait for the one chip if that's your reaction to the regular chili.
Altruism. I think it's altruism.
Final answer, locked in.
Locked in.
Okay. It'd be so awful if you went 3 for 3 losses. We started out strong with 3 all correct. Are we going to follow it up with 3 all incorrect? Peter Judo. It is once again time to move on to the next behavioral bias, because it is altruism.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh!
I think getting that one right gives you a little bit of recovery time.
Oh my goodness.
How have you gone through like a pint of milk for half a chili? You have nothing left for the one chip challenge.
I'll pour more.
God.
Oh my goodness. That's the regular chili. I'm gonna die. I'm actually gonna die. In chat, Christian says, "Why though?"
Good question.
Because this is the 10K special, and if anything, if you can reward your viewers with anything, it's punishing yourself. And so, woo!
I have to say, stop touching your eyes, please.
My hands are the normal chili doesn't make spicy hands.
I mean, still, just...
Okay, I think I'm okay. All right, a bit of instruction. Altruism is a behavioral science principle, even though it's like a common word. Because according to like neoclassical economics, people shouldn't be altruistic, right? Nobody should act selflessly. Oh god, how's it come back again?
hitting you in waves.
Oh my goodness, my ice cream. Nobody should act altruistically of their own volition. Like, we should always be acting selfishly, trying to maximize our own gains, which is why behavior like giving to charity, you know, unless it's to like gain social approval, but like giving to charity private, like in secret, doesn't make any sense according to neoclassical economics. But humans do it anyway, right? So that's why classical economics is stupid. Oh, the ice cream's so good. Okay. Okay. Hey Lakshay, hey Campbell, hey Finn. What's up everybody? Welcome to the stream. Okay. Let's carry on.
Alright, number 7. Let's go. Okay. Right. I will say this first sentence has a also known as, and then it's like a colloquial name. Should I skip past that sort of informal name for it?
Up to you. Make it as hard as you want.
We'll skip it for now, and then if you need a little bit of an extra nudge, then we'll come back to it. So this bias is a frequently encountered judgment bias that is partially rooted in availability and representativeness heuristics.
Okay.
That was a lot of syllables for me to say all that. It happens when being given new information changes our recollection from an original thought to something different.
That's it?
I've got more. This bias can lead to distorted judgments about the probability of an event's occurrence because the outcome of an event is perceived as if it had been predictable. It may also lead to distorted memory for judgments of factual knowledge. Blank can be a problem in legal decision making. In medical malpractice suits, for example, jurors blank tends to increase with the severity of the outcome.
I have no clue.
All right.
Lakshay, thanks for donating £5, dude. Really appreciate that. There's absolutely no need to do that, but thank you. Feel free to have a message read out or something or whatever you want for that. I have literally no clue. My mouth is still on fire. I'm going to do ice cream. It's something to do with false memories, right? I don't know if that's a principle, but you're talking about jurors. You're talking about representativeness heuristic.
Do you want the sort of the also known as?
Yeah, go on then.
So this bias is also referred to as the knew it all along effect.
Oh, okay. Now I know. I believe this is called hindsight bias. And the idea behind hindsight bias is that when we act in the future, when we look back, we go, oh, of course that's what should have happened. Of course, of course I knew that was going to happen. Obviously, in the moment, we didn't actually know. Like, for example, I didn't know that I would be suffering this much with a regular chili. Okay.
In hindsight, the one chip challenge might not be a good idea.
Okay. Hindsight bias locked in. Thanks for the congratulations, everyone. Thanks, Lakshay. Thanks, Rita.
Pete Judo, for bias number 7, you are correct.
All right. Okay. We got 5 out of 7 so far. That's not bad. But we were hoping for a better ratio than that.
Well, hopefully you're gonna have a good streak now, and there's a bit of downtime between your next challenge.
Yeah, I definitely need some time between now and the one chip challenge. Okay, go on.
Okay, number 8. Human resistance to blank outcomes is known as blank, which occurs when people prefer fairness and resists blanks. That was like a word that it's like it's kind of in the name, but also kind of not. In some instances, blanks is disadvantageous as people are willing to forego a gain in order to prevent another person from receiving a superior reward.
Yeah. So I think this is okay. It's either inequality or inequity. They're kind of the same thing. So I'm going to say inequality aversion. Okay. If it's inequity, I still get it. Because it's the same thing.
You've said both. So.
Okay. I'm going to say it's inequality aversion.
Okay, Pete Judo. This is inequity aversion.
Okay, I get it. that counts. That counts. So the idea behind inequity aversion is that, like, say you and your enemy, your rival in life, are competing. Okay, and then somebody comes up to you and says, would you like £100 for free? All right, what do you say?
Yes, please, and thank you.
Yeah, right? That's what we'd all say, right? But what if that person was to say, I'll give you £100 for free, but I'll give your arch enemy £1,000 for free if you take it. Okay, so then now what do you do?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like most people would say no, but To be honest, I would probably still say yes.
Okay, you would still say yes, which is the correct decision, right? Because,
Yeah.
economically speaking, you started off with 0, and now you're £100 up, so you're better.
Yeah.
But people don't always do that, right? And you have that hesitation shows you that like people are like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't want my enemy to benefit from my decision, so then they'll often reject things that are good for them in order to try and snub another person, which is, in economic terms, suboptimal. So that's the idea behind inequity evasion.
Right. I see.
Okay.
Still struggling from that chili.
It's still like lingering. Okay.
Right, give me 1 sec. It says I can't see the remaining cards without signing up, but I'll just log in with my Google account.
Okay, no problem. For everyone who's joining the stream right now, let me explain what's going on. So this is a 10,000 subscriber special. It's a thank you to you guys, and the way I'm saying thank you is by punishing myself, as every good YouTuber should. And so the idea is that George is going to be reading descriptions of behavioral science principles to me without actually saying the name of the principle. And I have to try and guess what the principle is. Now there's a lot, right? There's 87. Sorry, there's 86, and I'm trying to get as many right as I can. If I get one wrong, we spin the wheel of punishment, as you can see below. And the wheel of punishment has a lot of unpleasant things. We've had a couple already. I've had to eat a normal chili, I've had to eat toxic waste. All of them pretty unpleasant, but none are nearly as unpleasant as the punishment in black, which is the one-chip challenge, right? And this is the one-chip challenge, if you haven't seen it before. It's a Dorito that's like uber spicy. It's made with ghost pepper and reaper pepper, and it'll probably kill me. I struggled this much with the regular chili, so you can imagine it's going to be pretty bad. So if I land on that, then that'll be some content. So this is what we're doing, but hopefully this is like a fun way to teach you guys about behavioral science principles, as well as say thank you for the help you've given us. There's also as one of these punishments, there is giveaway. So if you're on the stream right now and you're watching live, we're going to be giving away hoodies if I land on the giveaway section of the wheel. So if that happens, feel free to ask questions, and you might have a chance to win a hoodie. Or a hat, if you prefer a hat. Okay.
All right.
We in?
Yep. Number 9. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, so some core ideas in behavioral economics focus on people's propensity to do nothing, as evident in default bias and status quo bias. The lack of blank, I've reworded that, may be due to a number of factors, including inertia or anticipated regret. However, sometimes people may have an impulse to do something in order to gain a sense of control over a situation and eliminate a problem.
Okay, this is good that you read the whole thing, because I was going to say inertia initially, but then inertia is part of the description, so it can't be inertia. So I think what this is action bias, and I'm quite confident on this one, because we made a TikTok about it. And the example that we gave in the TikTok was to do with goalkeeping, right? If you're a goalie in football, right, or soccer if you're American. And the idea is, if you're a goalie, you kind of have, this is an oversimplification, but you essentially have 3 choices. You have a set of 3 to choose from, right? Do you stay in the middle? Do you dive left, or do you dive right? Right? And that's kind of like your choice set as a goalie. So the point of action bias and why this is relevant is that goalies are much more likely to dive either left or right rather than stay in the middle, even if staying in the middle is probably the best choice, because if they let the goal in but they dived, they feel like at least they've taken an action to try and stop it, right? Whereas if they stay in the middle and the person scores left or right, then it's like they didn't even try, and so then they feel worse. So they'd rather try and not save it and risk not saving it than like not try and then risking going in right without them taking action. So that means as a striker, if at a high level where goalies are more likely to dive, you actually have a pretty good chance of scoring if you just go straight down the middle, as opposed to going left and right. Because of that reason. If any of you are big football fans, you might remember there's a footballer called Pirlo from Italy, and he famously used to just very gently chip the ball down the middle during a penalty, which is an absolute, alpha move. And then the goalies would dive out the way, and then the ball would just slowly tumble into the goal. So that's action bias. I'm pretty sure this is action bias. Am I right?
Okay, Pete Judo, you are correct.
Nice.
This is action bias.
Good. I was confident on that one.
Yeah.
All right, carry on. I'm just plugging in my phone. Carry on.
Okay. Number 10 out of 86. So, blank represents a reliance on good or bad feelings experienced in relation to a stimulus. Blank evaluations are quick, automatic, and rooted in experiential thought that is activated prior to reflective judgments. For example, experiential judgments are evident when people are influenced by risks framed in terms of counts, more than an abstract but equivalent probability frame.
Oh my god, I have no clue.
There's another half to this description.
Yeah, I definitely need the second half.
Okay. So blank judgments are more pronounced when people do not have the resources or time to reflect. For example, instead of considering risks and benefits independently, individuals with a negative attitude towards nuclear power may consider its benefits as low and risks as high under conditions of time pressure. This leads to a more negative risk-benefit correlation than would be evident without time pressure.
Is this just bias? Or
There's one final paragraph.
Okay, I will need it, but let me tell you where my head's at right now. I'm like, this sounds just like a description of the concept of bias or like heuristic decision making in general, as opposed to like being a specific one.
Right.
Like this just sounds like automatic decision making as a concept, which is just like a very broad concept in behavioral science. Okay, give me the last paragraph.
Okay. Blank has been used as a possible explanation for a range of consumer judgments, including product innovations, brand image, and product pricing. It is considered another general-purpose heuristic similar to availability and representativeness in the sense that blank serves as an orienting mechanism akin to similarity and memorability.
Okay, that makes me think that maybe it's talking specifically about availability. Ah, so hard. I think it's availability because I don't think that just the word bias is one of the cards.
Okay. So we're going with availability?
Availability. It might be called availability bias or availability heuristic or something, but I think it's just availability.
Okay. This is the effect heuristic.
What? You're kidding. How do you spell it? The affect here. Oh,
affect
that's
effect.
Such a bad description. Okay, I gave praise. These descriptions are from behavioraleconomics.com. I gave praise to them earlier. You guys got to update the affect heuristic one. Because that's rubbish.
It did feel very vague reading it through.
Affect is the technical term for like emotion, basically, right? Like if you engage in emotional decision making, right? Affect in psychology just means emotion. Oh my goodness. Okay, I guess we're spinning the wheel. If I get the one chip challenge because of this one, I'm gonna be upset. All right. For those of you in the chat, There's a wheel of punishments at the bottom. The one I really don't want to get is the one in black. That's the one chip challenge. The one that you want me to get is probably the giveaway because you have a chance to win a hoodie. So let's see. Please don't be the one chip challenge. Normal chili again. I have another half.
I think you're taking another bite.
Oh my goodness. I just recovered. Okay, I have another half. I nearly cried. I think this one actually has more seeds. So
I'll take a smaller bite then.
I think this is like a warm up for later. For when I have the one chip challenge. So here we go. Aaron, as I'm suffering, feel free to carry on with the next one.
Okay.
I took quite a big bite. Alright, let's go.
Okay. Blank or blank, it's given two names here, is the tendency to favor the known over the unknown, including known risks over unknown risks. For example, when choosing between two bets, we are more likely to choose the bet for which we know the odds, even if the odds are poor, than the one for which we don't know the odds.
Yeah, this is certainty. Certainty bias or certainty effect, whatever. The idea being, just as it described, that we just hate ambiguity. Oh, it might be called ambiguity aversion, actually. Oh god, it's so hot.
So which answer are we going with?
Can I have both? It's the same thing.
Okay, well, what's written on the card is ambiguity, or in brackets, uncertainty aversion. So that definitely counts.
Alright.
And you got that from the first paragraph of like 3. So
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Oh my god. So
oh my god, so much. You're gonna consume so much dairy today. I think that's the worst. Like more than any of the punishments, like the chili or the one chip challenge or the cricket cookies. It's just gonna be the amount of dairy in your system. All right. While you're suffering, let's move on to the next one.
oh my goodness. Carry on.
So, blank is a particular form of. This mentions another effect, which I'm not going to name for now. So, blank is a particular form of blank effect, whereby initial exposure to a number serves as a reference point and influences subsequent judgments. The process usually occurs without our awareness and has been researched in many contexts, including probability estimates, legal judgments, forecasting, and purchasing decisions.
Why can't I get the push-ups? Oh my god. Okay, I think this is anchoring. That's it.
Just locking that in straight away. Well, Pete Judo, you are correct. That is anchoring.
Why is this one so hot? Oh.
I mean, last time you had a pint of milk, maybe the milk was more effective than the ice cream.
It's like at the back of my throat. Oh my goodness, my nose is running.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next one, shall we? Number 13. So blank is a heuristic whereby people make judgments about the likelihood of an event based on how easily an example, instance, or case comes to mind. For example, investors may judge the quality of an investment based on information that was recently in the news, ignoring other relevant facts.
Availability. I'm quite sure. Hang on.
Okay.
I will explain it. It's just all over my tongue.
Let the ice cream sit in your mouth for a bit before swallowing it.
Mm.
One, because it'll do more, but two, I'm just consumed about the amount of ice cream that you're just shoveling into your body.
Ugh, it doesn't last long enough. Okay. I'll try. I'm crying. I'm literally... You can't see it. I'm crying. Okay. Availability heuristic is to do with how easily information comes to mind. Like how easily we can recall it. And the idea being that the easier it is to recall, the more prominent, the more important we think it is. Right? So, for example, if there's a mass shooting in America, okay, happens more frequently than we would like. That's all over the news. So then it's very easy for us to recall an example of a mass shooting happening, right? Because it's just on the news. We're thinking about it. It's there. Oh, why is this? Oh, such a slow burn. So as a result, we think that shootings are going to be like a lot more. We're more likely to overestimate the frequency of shootings immediately after a shooting than we are in a period where there hasn't been one for a few months or a few years. Right? So that's availability.
So we're going with this one is availability.
I think so.
Okay. How would your taste buds feel about something spicy yet again
No, I cannot.
right about now?
Am I wrong? No way I'm wrong.
Pete Judo. I'm sorry to say, but this is availability.
Oh my goodness. You're such a tease.
I know.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I thought I was wrong. I was like, there's no way.
Gotta have some drama in there.
I'm gonna ask Casey to get me some milk. Darling, can you pour me some milk? Or can you just bring it here? Okay, carry on.
Okay,
Good thing we got more.
Thank you.
this is a nice and short one. So blank is a concept proposed by Herbert Simon that challenges the notion of human blank as implied by the concept of Homo economicus. Blank is blank because there are limits to our thinking capacity, available information, and time. Blank is a core assumption of the natural assessment's view of heuristics and dual systems models of thinking, and it is one of the psychological foundations of behavioral economics.
Okay. This is like mental bandwidth or something along those lines. It could be like bandwidth, it could be like cognitive capacity. Something along those lines. If it's either of those, okay. If it's either bandwidth related or capacity, I get it.
Locked in?
Locked in.
You sure?
Yeah, you're making me doubt myself. Go.
Pete Judo. It is bounded rationality,
Oh, you're kidding me.
and it is time to spin that wheel once again.
I said bandwidth. That's bounded.
No. They both start with a B, but
It's the
not
same
A.
thing. It's the same thing. It is actually the same thing.
I mean, you were the one who said at the top of the stream, if you don't get the correct name.
Yeah, I really regret saying that. Because okay, I really can't do the one chip challenge right now. Like, I actually can't. Like, I'll actually die.
Well, we better hope for the cricket cookies then, or another toxic waste.
Look, there's 10 push-ups, 10 burpees, a giveaway, and cricket cookies. Like, come on. If it's not, I've got no more normal chili, so we can't do that one anymore. Okay. It's toxic waste.
I wonder
just-
how that flavor will mix with the spice.
Not well. Like, my mouth is still very much on fire, but okay, this is toxic waste. It's very sour. That's my next punishment. I'm just glad it's not spice right now. God, I've had a lot of dairy. Oh, my tummy feels a bit weird. Okay. Okay, go. Next.
Okay, next one. Right. Changes in the probability of gains or losses do not affect people's subjective evaluations in linear terms. For example, a move from 50% to 60% chance of winning a prize has smaller emotional impact than a move from a 95% chance to a 100% chance. Conversely, the move from 0% chance to a 5% possibility of winning a prize is more attractive than a change from 5% to 10%. There's another half to this if you need it.
Yeah.
Okay. People overweight small probabilities, which also explains the attractiveness of gambling. Research suggests that problem gamblers' probability perception of losing is not distorted, and that their loss aversion is not significantly different from other people. However, they are much more risk-taking and strongly overweight small to medium probabilities of winning.
I have no clue. This is bad. It's like overconfidence. Right? In its most basic form, it's overconfidence. But I don't know if that matches up perfectly with the description.
Shall I retell you a sentence that I think is probably most key to getting this?
Got it.
So, for example, a move from 50% to a 60% chance of winning a prize has a smaller emotional impact than a move from 95% chance to 100% chance.
So is it like something to do with certainty? Certainty bias? But we already had that, didn't we? We had uncertainty aversion. But that's what that's talking about, right? Oh my goodness, this is so difficult. Why do I make it so difficult for myself? I made the cards. I don't know. Okay, I think it's to do with certainty, right? Because if it's saying that the difference between 95% and 100 is more significant than 50 to 60, then that means that it's something to do with the fact that it's 100, right? Which makes it like it's certain. So I'm gonna say certainty. Or anything. Oh shit! Okay, certainty or ambiguity aversion or oh gosh, it's just gonna be like overconfidence now. Okay, certainty.
That is the certainty/possibility effect.
Oh, okay. So it is just in there twice, as like the two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Right. There's like there's certainty, and then there's like ambiguity aversion, which is just the same thing, essentially. Okay.
Just reframed from the other
Yeah, just flip the other way.
opposite side.
Okay. All right, let's carry on.
This is one that I've definitely heard you talk about.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
The chili's wearing off, by the way. I feel like more in control of my life now. I'm not crying anymore.
Okay. This term, coined by Thaler and Sunstein, refers to the practice of influencing choice by organizing the context in which people make decisions. A frequently mentioned example is how food is displayed in cafeterias, where offering healthy food at the beginning of the line or at eye level can contribute to healthier choices.
Is this just choice architecture? Carry on. I think it is just choice architecture.
So blank includes many other behavioral tools that affect decisions, such as defaults, framing, or decoy options.
Yeah, it has to be. Choice architecture.
That is correct.
Thank goodness. Okay, so choice architecture, for those of you who don't know, is just the idea that the way that we lay out options for people when they make a decision affects what decision they end up making, right? So the cafeteria example is the classic one where it's like, depending on where you place the available options to choose from, when people are choosing what food to eat, that is going to significantly impact what food they end up choosing. So that's choice architecture. Very, very basic concept. Came out is coined by Thaler and Sunstein in Nudge, right? So that's how like fundamental it is. Okay, let's carry on. Oh, my tummy feels so weird right now. It's just like acid and dairy.
Yeah, not great. Okay. So this one. Okay. This one also has a colloquial name that we'll come back to if you need it.
Okay.
The phenomenon of blank occurs as a result of too many options being available to consumers. Blank has been associated with unhappiness, decision fatigue, going with the default option, as well as deferral, okay, avoiding making a decision altogether, such as not buying a product.
Yeah, I think this is either choice overload or paradox of choice. Again, two names for kind of the same thing. The paradox of choice is a bit more of a catch-all term. The idea being that when we just have too many options to choose from, it's overwhelming and we end up not making a decision. Right? That's kind of the basic idea, which is why sometimes, say you run a shop and you're like, okay, do I want to sell all of a product, like all the different types of a product, or do I just want to sell a couple? Sometimes selling less might actually do you better because people are more likely to actually make a decision and therefore actually buy the product. And the famous study on this, although it's a bit contested amongst academics, the famous study on this is on jam jars. Okay, so you go to a supermarket and there's somebody who's selling jam in the supermarket. Okay, and they say, okay, you can. One day they go and they have like 24 jams, right, for you to choose from, and they give you free samples, and then they measure how many people buy the jam. Then another day they go, but this time they only have 6 jams, okay? Right? Significantly less. And what they found in the study was that while more people stopped by the store when they had 24 jams, less people actually bought the jams. Whereas, when they only had 6 jams, more people bought the jam because it was easier for them to make a decision when there was fewer jams available, right? And so that's the kind of the basic idea behind choice overload. Again, that jam study specifically is a bit contested, but the principle kind of stands. So let's go. Choice overload. Or it could, I don't know, I'm trying to think there's another name for it. Choice overload, paradox of choice. I think that's it. Yeah.
So also referred to as over choice, this is choice overload.
Okay, thank goodness. Okay. Woo! Okay, escaped another one.
All right.
Let's keep
We're
going.
on number 18. We're about 20% of the way through.
20%? Okay.
All right. Blank, an important concept in social psychology, refers to the uncomfortable tension that can exist between two simultaneous and conflicting ideas or feelings. Often as a person realizes that they have engaged in a behavior inconsistent with the type of person they would like to be, or be seen publicly to be.
Okay. Go carry on. I think this is cognitive
Okay.
dissonance, but carry on.
According to the theory, people are motivated to reduce the tension by changing their attitudes, beliefs, or actions. For example, smokers may rationalize their behavior by holding self-exempting beliefs such as the medical evidence that smoking causes cancer is not convincing, or many people who smoke all their lives live to a ripe old age, so smoking is not all that bad for you.
Yeah. Okay, I think this is cognitive dissonance. The idea behind cognitive dissonance is that we want to be consistent between our thoughts, actions, and beliefs. The smoking example is a good one. And like this is like a fundamental concept in behavioral science. It explains a lot of what we call post-rationalization, which is like how we justify our behavior to ourselves after we do something, right? So, for example, with brands, one thing that we found, as a behavioral science consultant and who works with brands, is that, intuitively you would assume the reason why somebody chooses your product is because they like your brand, right? And so you should, as a marketer, your goal is to get them to like your brand first, and then they'll buy the product. But because of cognitive dissonance, we know that people try and stay consistent between their actions and their beliefs. And so really the best way to get someone to like your brand is to actually to get them to try the product first, right? And they might try it on a whim because there's a promotion or because someone recommended it to them or because it just got handed to them, right? But after somebody uses a product a number of times, they then have to justify to themselves, well, I've just taken that action, right? I've just taken that action of using a product like however many times. And so now I have to justify that by saying that I'm somebody who actually likes this brand. So that's how cognitive dissonance is used in real life. It's quite counterintuitive, which is nice. So yeah, I think it's cognitive dissonance.
Okay, well, the correct answer is cognitive dissonance.
Wow, you'd be very good at poker because you give no tells. When you're announcing like whether I'm right or wrong, I literally have no clue. I'm on the edge of my seat every time. Okay.
All right. I have noticed something about these is that the shuffle function was not working. So for like the past couple, they have been in alphabetical order. So I've now shuffled them. So it may take me a little bit just to...
That makes sense. Choice overload, then cognitive dissonance. That makes sense. I didn't realize, for the record.
Yeah, I didn't think you did, but I thought if we carried on, you might. So
yeah.
Okay. This is one that we have not gone to yet. So, blanks are often used as a tool to counteract people's lack of willpower and to achieve behavior change, such as in the areas of dieting or saving.
Okay.
The greater the cost of breaking a blank, the more effective it is.
Nice.
From the perspective of social psychology, individuals are motivated to maintain a consistent and positive self-image, and are likely to keep blanks to avoid reputational damage and/or cognitive dissonance.
I thought I knew it, and then the more you read, I was like, oh, now I'm less sure.
What were you thinking before?
I was thinking it's commitment device. Okay, so the idea behind a commitment device is that you put some kind of punishment for yourself for not sticking through with something, right? My favorite example of this is for people who don't break up with somebody they're in a relationship with when it's clearly an unhealthy relationship. Okay, and they keep procrastinating doing it, so they never get around to it. And so the way you get yourself to actually do it is you set yourself a deadline, like next week, and then you say to your best friend who you trusted with your whole life, and you say, here's £2,000, right? If you get it, if I don't break up with Mr. or Mrs. Horrible by next week, you get to keep that £2,000. Okay? Then obviously you're gonna do it, right? Right? You're not gonna, right? You're just gonna give your friend £2,000 just to procrastinate being with somebody.
Yeah.
So that's commitment advice. But then you carried on going, and you were like, people want to be consistent with their self-image. And I'm like, is that just commitment more generally then? But then that doesn't imply. But then there's part earlier which is about like the greatness, like the level of the cost makes it more effective or something. Right? The greater the cost makes it more effective, which is what commitment advice is about. So now I'm really confused.
There's a final little section of text if you want.
Yeah, let's have it. Maybe that'll help.
A field experiment in a hotel, for example, found 25% greater towel reuse amongst guests who made blank to reuse towels at check-in and wore a friend of the earth lapel pin to signal their blank during their stay. I know you've talked about this specific example to me before.
Yeah.
This behavior change technique of blank, because I think that's way too obvious, is related to making blanks.
I think it's commitment. I'm just going to say commitment more generally. It might be called pre-commitment.
Okay.
If it's either commitment or pre-commitment or commitment with another word, or pre-commitment with another word, then I get it. Locked in.
You're very focused on it being centered around commitment.
Is it not?
We focus on it being around commitment, and that was correct. It is commitment.
Oh my god, dude! Oh, you literally give nothing away. You're like your poker face is unbelievably strong. I have no clue. All right, I see a few people pouring into the stream. So, thanks for coming. First of all, to update you, what we're doing is we're doing a 10K special. George is reading me descriptions of behavioral science principles, and I have to try and guess the correct principle. If I get it right, amazing. We move on to the next one. If I get it wrong, I have to spin the wheel of punishment, which you can see at the bottom of the stream. We've got a few wrong. We've got 4 wrong already. We've had chili twice and toxic waste twice. I don't know why the other ones aren't coming up, but I really hope they come up soon. So that's what's happening right now. So far I've got 15 right and 4 wrong. And there's 86 in total. So we still got a lot to go. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Let's carry on.
Okay. In economics, blanks are evident in theoretically optimal choices or real choices when people decide between alternatives. Blanks also imply an ordering of different options in terms of expected levels of happiness, gratification, utility, etc. Blanks are sometimes elicited in survey research, which may be associated with a range of problems, such as the hypothetical bias, when stated blanks are different from those expressed in actual choices.
That's it?
Got a little bit more?
I need more.
Okay.
Half of those words were just blank.
It uses the word a lot, so Armin Falk and colleagues have developed cross-culturally valid survey options that are good predictors of blanks in behavioral experiments. These include questions about risk-taking, social preferences, and time discounting.
That doesn't help me at all. I think it's confirmation bias, maybe? Oh gosh. Can I ask you to read it again, or is that cheating?
I'll read the first two sentences again,
Yes, please.
and I think focusing on those might give you the best idea.
Okay.
So, in economics, blanks are evident in theoretically optimal choices or real choices when people decide between alternatives. Blanks also
Ah.
imply an ordering of different options in terms of expected levels of happiness, gratification, utility, etc.
Okay, I know what it is. It's preference. Which again, it's barely a principle, right? It's barely a behavioral principle, but it's more of an economic, like normal economic principle than a behavioral one, and just the idea that we prefer things, right? Things that might seem the same, we have preferences for them, you know. Um, okay, preference locked in.
That is correct.
Okay, thank goodness. Okay, thank goodness you read it again because I was like confirmation, but I really didn't know.
Yeah. See, I do help you a little bit, saying focus
Thank
on
you.
that part.
Okay, we still got so many more to go. All right, keep
Uh,
going.
is this one that we've done before? Hang on. Yeah, we've done this one. Okay. So blanks are preset courses of actions that take effect if nothing is specified by the decision maker. And setting blanks is an effective nudge when there is inertia or uncertainty in decision making.
Defaults. This has to be defaults.
From the first sentence, that was very quick. There's a lot more.
Okay, carry on. Actually, no. Screw it. I'm pretty confident. It has to be defaults, right? It's all defaults are so basic. You guys know what defaults are at home, right? Defaults are when an option is pre-selected for you, right? Then that becomes a default, right? And it's more effective in decisions of inertia. Inertia meaning that people don't actually make a decision, so they just go with whatever is the default, right? Defaults locked in.
Wow. Okay. So, he made a decision from the very first sentence of a long paragraph. And if he gets it wrong, I'm sure that would feel pretty bad, wouldn't it, now, Pete?
You're so brutal, dude. Come on.
Fortunately, he's correct.
Let's go. Okay. All right. 17 correct. 4 wrong. 4 wrong is a lot. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Okay. Blank suggests the traditional cost-benefits model cannot account for the psychological effect of getting something for blank. A linear model assumes that the changes in cost are the same at all price levels and benefits stay the same. As a result, a decrease in price will make a good equally more or less attractive at all price points. The blank model, on the other hand, suggests that there will be an increase in a good's intrinsic value when the price is reduced to blank.
Yeah. Okay. I know what this is. I think this is the power of free. I think there's another name for it as well, which is like the zero price effect or something like that. But regardless, it's the power of free, right? That's the more common name for it, at least among the circles that I hang out with. And the idea being that the word free has like a special power in our brain that when we find out that something is free, we get so excited and we're just so likely to take it, even if it's completely useless to us, right? Because the word free implies that there's no risk, there's nothing for us to lose, and so we're just like so willing to take like almost anything that's free. That's why free shipping is very powerful in business. That's why free giveaways and so on are very powerful. And just anytime that you can incorporate free into your marketing, it's likely to do better than calling it something else, like complementary or I don't know, on the house, right? Free, like the word free is special. So I think this is the power of free. I can't think what else it would be. So locked in, power of free, or zero price effect. I don't know what's on the card.
Pete Judo. On the card, it says the zero price effect / the power of free.
Oh, let's go.
Exactly
Okay.
correct.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go, team. Abhinav Vinod says, the Dorito roulette, I remember the principle I learned from your video. Random rewards. Nice one, dude. Random rewards hasn't come up yet. So we'll see if it does. But good memory. All right, let's go.
We have a good streak going. Let's try and
We
keep
do.
it up.
My stomach is thanking me.
Yeah, you need a break.
I do need a break. Okay.
You mainly need a break from the amount of dairy you're consuming from as just like to recover from the spice.
Yeah.
Spice is not doing as much damage as the milk and ice cream.
Oh my goodness, tell me about it. All right.
Okay. In behavioral economics, blank refers to people's willingness to forego potential rewards in order to avoid delegation of their own payoffs. In an experiment, participants were asked to choose whether a bet on another person or themselves answering a quiz question correctly. Although individuals maximizing their rewards would bet on themselves in 56% of decisions, they actually bet on themselves 65% of the time, suggesting an aggregate blank of almost 10%. The average study participant was willing to sacrifice between 8 and 15% of expected earnings to retain blank.
Okay, I know in general what it is, right? So this is, it's like, I don't know, the problem is I don't know the name of it. It's called like control bias or something. Or maybe autonomy bias, potentially. Basically, the idea is we like to have control over our future, even if delegating our future to somebody else would actually lead to us benefiting more in the long run, right? But people are often willing to sacrifice future earnings in order to maintain control of their own, future. I don't know what it's called though. You're so poker faced right now. I hate it. Control bias. Oh, is there another name? I'm trying to think if there's another name for it. It's either control or like autonomy. Or I can't think of another name for it. Okay, I'm gonna say control bias or autonomy bias. Locked in.
So the name for this is the control premium.
Oh, do I get that? Come on. I got the main word.
I mean, I'm gonna let you make that judgment. Do you let yourself get away with that?
I think so. Go on. Control is the main word, right? In that we said like if there's like another word attached to it, like bias, effect, heuristic, premium, right? Aversion. Like all of these are just like whatever words, but like the main like principle, the main concept, right, is control. I think I get away with that. Okay.
We'll let you have that. If you don't think you deserve to get away with that, in the comments, just rip the shreds. It owes us another punishment.
All right. Abhinav Vinod says, "How do I cure depression?" Abhinav, I'm not going to try and answer that question. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm a behavioral scientist, so I don't want to give medical advice that's not sound. I can tell you what I did for mine. Exercise helps a lot. If you want to try to do exercise, helped me a lot. Certainly makes you feel a lot better about yourself. Gets your hormones in the right place. a regular sleep schedule and regular exercise are like the two best things that I did for my depression. That's not medical advice. I'm not saying that that's going to cure your depression. It might not. It might do absolutely nothing. But that's just what I did. So if you don't have those two things, try doing those first. It might help.
Is there any behavioral science principles that could help us get to that, say if we're struggling with a sleep schedule or exercising regularly?
I have a lot of videos on habits. If you want to watch those, I would say planning is the main thing to get started, right? To have a regular sleep schedule, you've got to plan when you're going to wake up and when you're going to go to sleep. So get that set up. Set up your alarms, right? If you're gonna if you want to start working out or running or whatever, plan your route. Sign up for the gym. Plan what exercise you're going to do. Like the more planning you can do to reduce the amount of decisions you have to make when it actually comes to doing the behavior, that's going to help you. So make it easy for yourself. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on, shall we?
Let's move on.
Okay. So blank refers to our social preference for equitable outcomes. This can present itself as inequity aversion, people's tendency to dislike unequal payoffs in their own or someone else's favor.
Didn't we have this one?
The tendency has been documented through experimental games such as the Ultimatum, Dictator, and Trust games. A large part of blank research in economics is focused on prices and wages. With respect to prices, for example, consumers are generally less accepting of price increases as a result of short-term growth in demand than rising costs. With respect to wages, employers often agree to pay more than the minimum the employees would accept in the hope that this blank will be reciprocated. On the flip side, perceived opposite of blank, such as excessive CEO compensation, has been behavioral associated with reduced work morale among employees.
Okay, so I think the reason I got confused is because we had inequity aversion before. And I think this is the other side of the coin, right? In the same way that we had another principle that was like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
This is that again, and this is... I think the word that's on the card is just fairness. Okay. I think that's what's on the card. It might be like a quality bias or something like that. I think it's just fairness. The idea being that we want people to be treated fairly, and we think that people should be rewarded for things that they do well and punished for things that they don't do well, like me in this game. And that's fair. So I think this is fairness.
So, speaking of being punished for things that you don't do well in, that's not the case here, because this is fairness.
Oh, dude, you love. Oh, you love getting me worried.
I do.
We're on a good streak right now. We haven't got one wrong in a while, which my stomach and my mouth are very grateful for. So this is great. Let's keep going.
All right. So, this kind of decision-making refers to the application of ecologically rational heuristics, such as the recognition heuristic, which are rooted in the psychological capacities that we have evolved as human beings. They are blank because they are effective under conditions of bounded rationality, where knowledge, time, and computational power are limited.
Gosh, that's a lot of jargon. Is that it?
Yep.
No, you're kidding.
Nope.
Can I have the first two sentences again?
So, blank decision-making refers to the application of ecologically rational heuristics, such as the recognition heuristic, which are rooted in the psychological capacities that we have evolved as human animals, e.g., memory and perceptual systems.
This is so vague. This description is so vague. It's just like brain. Ecological. What does it say? Ecological what?
The application of ecologically rational heuristics, such as the recognition effect.
I have no clue. I have actually no clue. Application.
They're effective under the conditions of bounded rationality, when knowledge, time, and computational power are limited.
That's just like every bias. Oh, unless this is just describing the word bias or heuristic or something like that. Maybe that's why it's really vague. Because it's like, it's just talking about the general concept of heuristic. Okay, I'm going to say that. It's heuristic. I can't remember if that was actually a card. But okay, heuristic. You're so poker-faced. I hate you. Heuristic. Locked in. All bias.
Pichuda. That is fast and frugal.
Oh no!
And the streak is reset.
Oh,
and it's in the punishment wheel.
You're kidding me! Fast and frugal. Okay, before I spin it, bit of explanation. Daniel Kahneman, you guys all know, right? He's the guy who wrote Thinking Fast and Slow. And he talks about how you have system 1, system 2, and that when system 1 takes over our decision making, we often make bad decisions, right? That's kind of like his whole jam. That's like his whole message, right? There's another guy who's less famous, but famous to people who are really into the field like me. And that's a guy called Gerd Gigerenzer. And Gerd Gigerenzer said that System 1 decision making isn't bad. It's not always incorrect. Instead, it's fast and frugal. Basically, what he means by that is that sometimes making decisions with our biases and heuristics is a good way of making decisions. And it helps us make decisions accurately most of the time, right, in the world. And so that's the concept behind fast and frugal. I didn't realize that was a card. It's so annoying because like fast and frugal is basically like another way of just saying like system 1, or another word of just saying like biases or heuristics. Okay, but you know what? I can't get away with this one. I have to spin the wheel.
Time to spin that wheel.
Don't be the one-chip challenge. Don't you dare be the one-chip challenge. Push-ups! It's only push-ups. Okay. Okay. I don't know how to do this so that you guys can see what I'm doing. If I do this, maybe. Can you see? Okay, there we go. Alright. I'll move my chair out of the way so you can see what's going on. Alright. Headphones off.
How many are we doing? 10? Is that ones are off?
You can, yeah, 10. Okay.
The wedding ring off and everything. Watch
What?
his form.
Alright, that's 10. Okay.
I would have been disappointed if your form had been off.
Was my form off?
No.
Coach?
Not that I could tell. I mean, I don't go to the gym, but you know.
Alright.
You're a gym guy, so if it's off, then, you know, extra punishment.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you can call it out if you think I'm off, if you just want to be mean for better content. Jacob Wild Person says, possibilities to recognize your own biases. If you know what they are, like if you're familiar with the concepts, there's a good chance you'll recognize them. But recognizing and combating are two different things. So if you're wondering if learning about behavioral science will help you like make better decisions regularly, probably not. To be honest, like it's very difficult in the moment to recognize and combat your own biases, right? Like it's possible sometimes with enough like thought and effort, but generally very difficult. Okay.
All right. Ready for number 26?
Yep.
Okay.
Was that the
According
fifth? Hang on, was that the fifth one I got wrong?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You know, it was 4 fairly quick, but then we had a good streak, so I think, you know, you're doing okay.
I'm doing okay.
It was just that initial bit made it seem...
Well, I've got 20% wrong, which is not great.
Well, we'll see. I mean...
Because that means at this rate, I'll have 16 spins of the wheel. Is that right? 17. 17 to 18 spins of the wheel by the end. That's not great.
And
So
it gives us plenty of time for the one-chip challenge.
Gosh. Okay. Let's keep going.
Okay. So according to Herbert Simon, people tend to make decisions by blank rather than optimizing. Decisions are often simply good enough in light of the costs and constraints involved. As a heuristic, blank individuals will choose options that meet basic decision criteria. A focus on blank can be used by choice architects when decision makers are prone to procrastination.
Okay, my first instinct says that this is satisficing. Which is the idea that we're trying to make a decision. We often don't go for the decision that's like the absolute best, right? Because finding the absolute best takes too long. So instead, we tend to satisfice, which is means that we set some criteria for ourselves, and as long as the decision meets those criteria, we're happy, and we don't try and search for something that's like 5% better, 10% better, right? Think about watching a new TV show, for example, right? Do you want to find the absolute number one TV show that you will enjoy the most out of all possible TV shows, right? Like, no, it takes too long, right? So instead, you'd be like, okay, I kind of want a comedy. I want something that's like gonna make me laugh. It's easy watching, but it might not necessarily be like the number one best comedy, right? So I'll go watch Superstore or whatever, right? Okay. But I'm not confident on that answer.
Okay.
Can you repeat the start? Or is there more? If there's more, then I'll have to take.
There's no more.
Okay.
According to Herbert Simon, people tend to make decisions by blank. A combination of blank and blank, rather than optimizing. Decisions are often simply good enough in light of the costs and constraints involved.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That makes me more confident. Okay, satisficing. Locked in.
That is correct.
Alright. Okay, we're back. The streak has restarted, everybody. We're coming back. We're gonna get there.
I'm curious what your biggest streak in this whole thing will be.
Hopefully the rest of the the ones that come out. It won't be. I will get
Just
more.
not another one wrong.
I will definitely get more wrong. Okay.
Feeling fatigued yet from the challenges?
Yeah, a little bit. But we're
Yeah.
not even halfway, right? That's the thing. As I get more tired, I'm probably going to make more mistakes.
True. That's kind of why I wanted you to get like the one chip challenge straight away, because it would just like your brain would not be able to focus.
Are we carrying on after the one chip challenge?
I mean, I guess it depends how much you can push through.
I think if we get the one chip challenge,
If we get the one chip challenge and we gotta try at least a few more, or like at least one more, just to see if you can.
okay,
You know?
okay.
Okay. Right, this one I have to be careful how I word it. There are
Okay.
psychological costs to making blank. Since choosing can be difficult and requires effort like any other activity, long sessions of blank can lead to poor choices. Similar to other activities that consume resources required for executive functions, blank is reflected in self-regulation, such as diminished ability to exercise self-control.
Okay, I think this is decision fatigue. I'm quite confident on this one. So decision fatigue is the idea that after we've made a lot of decisions, like I am doing right now, that our mental resources will diminish over time because our brain gets tired of making decisions. And as our brain gets more tired, we end up making more fast and frugal decisions, or rather more system one decisions, which means that we're more likely to make snap judgments, we're more likely to fall back into habit, we're more likely to do things that are not necessarily the most optimal for us. So I think this is decision fatigue. The controversial thing with decision fatigue is that the main researcher who did it was a guy called Roy Baumeister. And Roy Baumeister basically argued that this was a result of literal glucose in your brain diminishing as you make more decisions, right? Like literal sugar and energy in your brain going down as you make more decisions means that you'll end up having decision fatigue. And then he argued, therefore, that you could basically drink a Gatorade or a Lucozade and suddenly your decision fatigue will be gone and like you'll be back to making perfect decisions again. And this was his argument, and a lot of people believed it, and Matt Diavelis made a video about it, and blah, 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 right? Like a lot of people believe this concept, right? But it's just very poorly replicated in the science, right? And any study with like a significant number of participants has found that this effect doesn't really hold up unless the participant actually knows about this principle and believes in it. So if they believe that the Lucozade or the Gatorade will replenish their decision fatigue, then it will. But it's just a placebo, right? It's not actually because of any kind of physical thing that's happening in the brain. So yeah, that's the controversy around decision fatigue. Decision fatigue. That's my answer.
Okay. You are correct.
Let's
Decision
go.
fatigue.
Okay.
That's how I asked you if you're fatigued before I started that question.
Yeah. Oh, was that because of it?
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks for the hint. I didn't realize there was a hint, but thanks for the hint. Maybe you subconsciously primed me. Maybe.
Okay, 28.
28.
Let's go. People often put off decisions, which may be due to self-control problems, inertia, or the complexity of decision-making. Various nudge tools, such as pre-commitment, can be used to help individuals overcome blank. Choice architects can also help by providing a limited time window for action, or a focus on satisficing.
What? This is hard because in the description there's like 5 principles named. Right? There's pre-commitment, there's satisficing, there's... Oh! I'm gonna need... Is there more?
There is not more, but I'll reread this sentence.
Okay.
Various nudge tools, such as pre-commitment, can be used to help individuals overcome blank.
So I think maybe this is inertia. It might be called like inaction or something. Or procrastination, I guess, as the most layman way of describing it. Procrastination. Well, I don't need to tell you what procrastination is, right? It's just like we're putting off doing stuff. So that would make sense then, because like, okay, limited time window would help you overcome your procrastination, as would pre-commitment Okay. I'm going to say inertia. If it's procrastination or inaction, I still get it. That's my answer.
The answer is... if I put off, like, saying this, if I just, like, put off, saying this answer, that would be procrastinating saying the answer, right? Procrastination. Yeah, it's procrastination.
Okay. Your poker face is so good, it looks like your camera's frozen.
I know.
You just go. It's so deadpan. Okay. Procrastination.
All right.
Okay.
And I actually did say inertia in that. So when you said inertia, I was a bit worried because I was like, I'm not saying
true.
something.
You can't say, yeah. Good point. I'm decision fatigued. Okay, let's carry on.
Okay. Blank refers to a change in relative frequency by which one option is favored over another in behavioral experiments, as evident in the less is better effect or ratio bias, for example, or framing effects more generally. Blank contradict the predictions of rational choice.
Okay, I think this is preference reversal, which is a very like hardcore behavioral economics term, right? Because it only makes sense if you're looking at it through the lens of like, well, classical economics says A, but this is showing B, and so A can't be right because of B, right? And like, it only makes sense in that context, and so it's only really talked about by like people who work in behavioral economics, not like people like me who work in behavioral science. We never talk about this. But the idea being preference reversal is that we basically change our mind on stuff. When the information is presented in a different way or whatever, we change our mind, right? We change our preference. So I think this is preference reversal. Final answer.
It's very brave that throughout this you've sort of described and like explained the effect that you think it is before the answer's even confirmed.
Yeah.
Because like, if it's wrong, then you've just explained something that's not at all relevant.
Yes.
And luckily, this is preference reversal, so you're fine.
Okay. Woo! Okay. We're all good. I'm noticing some new people in the stream. So let's take a little pause to explain what's going on. If you're new here to the stream, welcome. This is a 10,000 subscriber special to say thank you to you for all the amazing support that you've given this channel over the last 2 years. To say thank you, we're doing a game where my friend George here is going to be reading me descriptions of behavioral science principles, and I have to name the principle that it's describing. If I get it wrong, we spin the wheel of punishment, which you can see at the bottom of the stream. And it has a bunch of really unpleasant things. Some of them are much more unpleasant than others, especially the one chip challenge, which is the one that you can see in black. And if I get that, I have to eat this extremely spicy Dorito, which I have right in front of me, and it's going to be horrible. So far, we've got 29 right and 5 wrong. And 5 wrong is a lot, because these punishments are very unpleasant. So let's see if we can keep a good... We got a little bit of a streak going, so let's see if we can keep that streak going right now.
I'll be honest, it may be my sort of lack of understanding of behavioral science in general, but this one feels fairly similar to other things that we've had.
Okay.
So, blank is a behavioral model that shows how people decide between alternatives that involve risk and uncertainty, e.g. percentage likelihood of gains or losses. It demonstrates that people think in terms of expected utility relative to a reference point, E.G., current wealth, rather than absolute outcomes. Blank was developed by framing risky choices and indicates that people are loss averse since individuals dislike losses more than equivalent gains. They are more willing to take risks to avoid a loss. Due to the biased weighting of probability and loss aversion, The theory leads to the following pattern in relation to risk.
It has to be prospect theory. Right? Because you've said the word risk, and you said the word loss aversion, so it can't be any of those, which means it has to be the umbrella term for all of these concepts into one model, which is prospect theory, right? Which is Kahneman's Nobel Prize winning basic hero model of behavioral science, right? The idea being, well, I got a whole video on it, right? Prospect theory explained at 5 different levels, but the whole idea being that like we interpret gains and losses from a reference point, and so if our reference point, if we have £4,000, but we used to have £4,200, then we're actually really upset that we have £4,000 compared to someone who used to have 3.8k and now has £4,000, right? Because one person's gained £200, one person's lost £200, and so those two people feel differently, even though they have the same amount of money, right? That's prospect theory, right? The most basic idea. Okay. Prospect theory. Locked in.
Confident?
Fairly confident.
Okay. Well, I can say for bias heuristic concept number 30 that you have answered correctly.
Oh, okay. Oh, these pauses are brutal, man. They're absolutely brutal. Okay. What's worrying me is that we've had a lot of the easy ones, and we've got them out the way, which means that all the hard ones are still to go. So, let's go. Let's keep going.
Okay. When people make complex or long blanks, such as buying a car, they tend to successively explore their options. This includes what information to focus on, as well as choices between attributes and alternatives. For example, when people narrow down their options, they often tend to screen alternatives on the basis of a subset of attributes and then compare alternatives. Choice architects may not only break down complex blanks into multiple stages to make the process easier, they can also work with an understanding of successive decision making by facilitating certain comparisons at different stages of the choice process.
You know when I said all the hard ones are left in the deck?
Yeah.
This is one of them. I don't know, man. I remember putting it in the deck, and I have no idea what the card was, because it's one of those principles that I don't use very often, especially not in my day-to-day job.
Right.
So it's to do with like comparing options. So is it like it's like need for comparison bias? But you said the word compare, so it can't have that in the title. So maybe it's like option setting? No. Oh gosh. This is going to be a punishment. I literally have no clue. I don't know. Maybe it's to do with sequencing. I'm gonna say sequential decision making. I think that's 100% wrong.
So, the title for this concept is Decision Staging.
Yeah, no, that's wrong. I can't take it.
I did actually, that's the first time I slipped up and I actually said decision in the final sentence.
Oh, okay, that's
I
fine.
put
It's forgivable.
decision making.
I still had no clue. All right, let's spin the wheel. Decision staging. Literally never use it. Please don't be the one chip
cricket
challenge.
biscuits.
Please don't be the one chip challenge. Push-ups again. Okay. Okay, I think we dodged a bullet, guys. We've dodged.
Working off the milk and ice cream.
Yeah. Are we frozen?
Are we?
No, we're not. I don't know. My OBS showed that we were frozen for a second. Are we? No, we're not. We're fine. Okay. Okay. Let's put this down again so you can see me actually doing them. Okay.
Everyone check his form, and if he's not on form, call him out in the comments.
You can call me out in chat if I'm not on form.
Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And a bonus one.
All right.
Go to behavioral science, but can't count.
Okay. If we get a lot more of those, I'm going to be real tired. Okay. My heart rate is now up. Let's carry on. Do you know what number we're on?
32.
32. Yeah, that matches up. Okay.
Okay. Right. Decision makers have a variety of heuristics at their disposal when they make choices. One of those effort-reducing heuristics is referred to as blank. When it is applied, decision makers gradually reduce their number of alternatives in a choice set, starting with the most important one. One queue is evaluated at a time until fewer and fewer alternatives remain in the set of available options. For example, a traveler may first compare a selection of hotels at a target destination on the basis of classification, eliminating all hotels with fewer than 3 stars. The person may then reduce the choice set further by walking distance from the beach, followed by guest reviews, etc. until only one option remains.
I have no clue. Again, this is one of those... I said all the hard ones are still in the deck. This is another one. It's something like... It's again, because it's I say it's hard, because it's just one of those ones that we just don't use. Or I just haven't used very much in my work. It's something like attribute filtering or something, or filtering by attributes or decision, something like that. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get the one chip challenge. I know it's gonna. I just got a feeling that the next spin we're gonna get is gonna be that. Okay. Attribute decision by filtering by. Wait, did you say the word attribute in the description?
I did not.
Okay, filtering by attributes. If the word, can I say, if it's something similar with the word attributes in it, I get it.
So, this is called elimination by aspects.
Oh, aspects. I just have a feeling this one's going to be the one chip challenge. I don't know why, but I just have this like...
I feel like you're saying that every time.
This deep dread in my stomach that That might just be all the dairy. But this deep dread in my stomach that says this one's going to be the one chip challenge. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're spinning the wheel of punishment. What was it? Decision by aspects?
Elimination by aspects.
Elimination by aspects. I mean, it's filtering by attributes is pretty close, but it's not right.
It means the same thing, but it's a different name.
Okay, we're out of normal chili. We've had it too many times. So we gotta go again. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. What? Again? Okay, we gotta go again.
I feel like the more times you spin...
I know! No, don't you dare. No! No! No, it's not! It's not!
We're not even halfway through, Pete.
Oh my god! No, dude! I'm not ready!
You didn't even get to the cricket biscuits.
I didn't even get to the bloomin' cricket biscuits! Oh no! Oh, I'm dreading this so much. Okay. Okay. For those of you joining the stream, welcome to my death. So this is... How do you say it again? Pakwi?
Parky,
Parky.
I think.
This is
my friend is a cat named after that kind of chip.
Wow. Okay. So this is the Parky One Chip Challenge. It is an extremely spicy. It has a warning on the back. It says, "Do not eat if you are sensitive to spicy foods." That's the first line.
Oh God.
Thanks, darling. This is my wife bringing me disposable gloves because it's so spicy that I can't hold it with my bare hands. I can't believe it's come this early.
Oh, God.
We're not even halfway. So what are we saying? Right, I'm gonna try it, and then we're gonna try a few more.
I'd like you to try a few more, at the very least one. Like, we can't just go straight out. I mean, really, it depends if you are literally physically able. But I'd like to see if you could try at least one more.
Okay. Don't ask me straight away.
I won't.
In fact, I don't think it'll even matter. Maybe do ask me straight away, because I think the longer it goes on, the worse it's going to get.
I mean, the chilies took a bit to kick in. Like, you were fine initially, then it hit, and then it went down
Okay.
slowly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. This may be the end of Pichudo. Okay. I can't believe it came this early, dude.
Describe the smell when you open it.
Yeah. I can't even open it. It's got, like, tape on it.
And careful not to spill it or drop it when you open it as well.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing it. The one chip challenge. Oh, I can't believe it came this early, bro. We didn't even get the biscuits! Okay, unboxing video. This is what it looks like. There's a lot of warning labels. It's inside this. Right? Inside this packet is a single Dorito. A single tortilla chip. That is extremely spicy. I'll read you the packet. One Chip Challenge 2022. You, a simple being who thinks they can handle the surge of extreme heat, versus the Reaper, one supercharged demon powered by the most electrifying peppers on Earth. Great. It says, what to expect. Made with Carolina Reaper pepper and scorpion pepper, this high voltage chip was created for the shocking pleasure of intense heat and pain. 1. Tongue takeover. 2. Shock the senses. 3. surge of tears. 4, jolt to the gut. And 5, voltage overload.
Oof.
All right, this all sounds very unpleasant. Ladies and gentlemen,
Sounds exciting.
don't try this at home. Unless you're a YouTuber. There's also a challenge thing that challenges me to see how long I can last. So it says 1 minute powerless, which is probably going to be me. 10 minutes powerful, 30 minutes supercharged, 1 hour invincible, and that's how long you last before you eat or drink anything. With me, I have a pint of milk, almost a pint of milk, and 3/4 of a tub of soft scoop ice cream. And that's it. And then I get to show this if I want to. Okay. If the stream ends very suddenly, it's because I have to run to the bathroom. Or something of that nature. Okay? Alright. This is what's happening.
Don't forget your gloves.
What was the principle I got wrong?
It was the elimination by aspects, and you got something that was essentially synonyms for it.
I said filtering by attributes.
See, if you had said like elimination by attributes, I probably would have allowed it, but elimination versus filtering.
Yeah. Okay. This glove is on. I'm gonna die. Okay, like I said, if the stream ends very suddenly, you know why. Get ready with the next one. 'Cause I want you to ask me as soon as I put it in my mouth.
It's a nice short one, so not too much information to take in. Ooh,
It's big, man.
it is.
It's just like it's like a big chip.
I don't think you could get that in one bite.
It doesn't.
Does it smell?
It smells spicy, but not like it's not like burning my nose.
Right. It looks very black on camera, but it's meant to turn your tongue blue. Is it more of a blue tinge?
It's like a blue tinted black.
Right.
In fact, it's pretty much just black. Oh god, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. It's staining the gloves. Okay, I don't think I'm mentally prepared for it. I don't even know how I'm going to fit this all in my mouth in one go. Oh my god, I'm literally going to die.
Do you need a countdown?
Yeah.
Okay. So, taking a bite in 5, 4,
Oh god.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa.
Okay. So this refers to investors' reluctance to sell assets that have lost value and greater likelihood of selling assets that have made gains. This phenomenon can be explained by prospect theory, regret avoidance, and mental accounting.
I'm not here. I'm not here. Completely.
Not even a guess?
Mm.
Oh, Pete, that is the disposition effect.
It's getting hot.
Getting there?
Well, not fun.
Alright, next one. So this is a concept associated with the work of Richard Thaler. According to Thaler, people think of value in relative rather than absolute terms. They derive pleasure not just from an object's value. Nope, and he's gone. He's done. Couldn't hold out. That was... Hasn't even gone for the milk or the ice cream. It was just too much. I mean, based on how he did with the chili pepper, it's really no surprise.
Oh!
Oh gosh. You did touch the chip with your other hand that was ungloved, so be sure not to, like, touch anything until you wash your hands as well.
Alright, folks.